Hi, Daniela. How are you?
I am good. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Finally, we are able to speak to each other.
I know it's been a little bit of a back and forth, and we made it happen.
Yes,
We made
that's
it
the most
happen.
important thing. So, how are things there? Everything is under control?
Yes. So 2 of the 5 boxes came yesterday. So very exciting. And the others are on the
Okay.
way. I think they're in LA right now. So they should come today. We'll do some photos. And on Monday, we're launching. And so,
Wow. All the best. It's a very auspicious day, in India, we
uh-huh.
start the new year, and
Yeah.
from day after tomorrow, which is Saturday, it's
Yes.
like the beginning of the new year, which is considered very auspicious. So I'm very sure that you and your team will have all the success in this, and let's hope for the best.
Oh my goodness. So you're saying like the beginning of the new year is on Monday or
Yeah,
Sunday?
if you look at our traditional calendar,
Yeah.
this is how it is.
Okay.
So
I
it's
know.
very good.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Um, Let me just pull up my email because it's early morning for me and my brain is not quite working.
Yes,
Let
yes,
me
it's not easy.
see. Because, well, I think I don't need my notes. Because what
Sure.
you made,
Yes.
well, so, and I wrote you in the email as well, how after working for 20 years in the apparel industry, always knowing
Right.
like something's kind of off for me. Something was kind of a little, about how things are done, even though I love the process. I love everything. I love the yarn and the fabrics and everything that goes into making beautiful apparel. Um, and so I personally left the industry. So I because of some personal reasons, and then I was able to create shifts for myself. Like feeling, instead of thinking, okay, the apparel industry is this big monster, and yes, it's touching everyone, and it's this, it's really wreaking havoc on the planet and the people. It's exploiting people. What if we use the power of apparel to do something good? And so that was kind of, how can we do it for the empowerment of people rather than the exploitation of people?
Mhm.
And I had the story in my mind because I was working for these big corporations,
Mhm.
who, hopefully are producing ethically, or as ethically as the industry consciousness is possible. And I
Mhm.
thought that it's impossible for me to work with people like you as a startup.
Thank you. Right. Thank you so much. This means a lot.
And, and then I saw you speak at Common Objectives. I think it was early last year.
Right. The common objective, yes.
Yes. And I saw you
Mhm.
speak, and I thought, oh my whole world changed. My whole worldview changed, because everything that you said was so aligned with, my values and the vision that I had. And you are open to working with startups who are committed as well. And I had a factory in LA, and I visited them, and it was all okay, but it didn't feel right. It just felt like not exciting. And then I said, no, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm going to work with people like Vinay. And even though I had not
Wow.
reached out
That
to you,
really means a lot. Yes. Thank you so much for the trust and everything. And like what you said, that you have to believe in yourself and what you are doing. The results are not very instant, and one has to be patient and believe in one. And I think slowly the process gets into the shape, and at one point of time, maybe a little later, you reach and achieve your destination if the commitment is right. If the ethics are right, if the commitment is right, and you have a right mind frame, you will sooner or later achieve your target. And like you said, for us also, it was a very big challenge to basically come out of the mass market and work into the niche market. And we did it because we realized that this is something that we want to do it. And definitely it has more challenges than, if you're working with the bigger companies, because what you have to do is produce some nice samples, and you are flooded with orders. But that's the easiest route, and you become the run of the meal. But the moment you try to do something different, it has the challenges, but the rewards too. And the process that we followed with the artisans and everyone has been a beautiful journey. And gladly, I'm able to say that even after 15 years, we are able to work with them in the same way. We are able to provide the orders, and the looms are increasing. So all all said and done, I think this is something that we thought about it 15 to 20 years back. And today, when we are standing here, we have been able to convince people to work with us, and people are working. They are very happy. They don't complain that this is machine, this is hand. So, our weavers have been able to, achieve the perfection which is accepted in countries like Japan, which is very, very difficult to enter. And at the same time, when you are working with very higher brands like Chanel Group and all, I mean, even they have accepted the hand woven quality. And whatever their fears were, we have been able to convince them, and they worked with us for 4 seasons, 5 seasons, and now they really want to develop more collection on this line. And today, what people are talking about, sustainable fashion and everything, if you look and go into the core, it says very clearly that we should not waste our resources. And what what better resources one could have than the human? If you are wasting them and you're utilizing other resources, doesn't make sense. So the most important is basically you have to utilize the human resources, and that is one thing that we have been able to do well. And hopefully, with the blessing of God and the support of all our customers, we should be able to embark further on this journey.
Oh, it's so beautiful what you're saying. And the highest resource we cannot waste, or we shouldn't waste resources. And the best one is, the most valuable one is the human resource. And what
And we
they
have a lot of tradition, yes.
Yes, yeah. You have a manifesto, which,
Right,
yes, which I
correct,
love.
right.
And
And
yeah, it is about reconnecting people to a knowledge of the past, the slow, the perfectly imperfect art of weaving clothes on traditional hand loom, and the skill of intricate hand embroidery. So,
right. Yeah, please go ahead.
no, like when that really resonated with me, like how
Right.
it's about the traditions like that have been passed down for generations to make sure that they stay alive.
Right.
So you said you've been working you've changed the way you work about 20 years ago.
We started 20 years back. We
Yeah.
started in 2002, and in 2007, we realized that this is not what we want to do. We want to basically work in a niche market where, because like we were always feeling over dominated by the buyers, and it was always a pressure that one only has to be like a machine, and you
Yeah.
keep on producing, keep on labeling, keep on packing. And we realized, no, this is not what we want to do. We we have the possibility, we have the talent to create something new. So let us go into this path. It will have its challenges, but for sure, I mean, we had the confidence that we will be able to crack this market. And I said, as with the buyer support and the companies and God's blessing, we were able to do so. And I mean, we are still surviving after 15 years, and the company is growing. So we are very happy that the team is increasing and everything is working in the right way as it should have been.
Yeah, that is amazing. Did you say, did I hear you correctly that Chanel company is working with you? And
Yeah, we are basically working with one of the group companies,
okay.
and
Oh, yeah.
we are basically, yeah, we are working with them. We are working with some of the very good companies in Italy, in US, in Australia. So I mean, we have a mixed bag
Mhm.
where basically now we are working with people who we know they respect the sustainability, they respect the handloom, they respect the artisans, and they are always ready to accept the flaws because I mean when you are looking at these flaws are not the flaws that one basically if you these flaws can only be seen once you're looking it through a microscopic glass, which is like something if you're going very internally. But I mean, it has its own pleasure because the softness and the feel that you get and the energy. The most important thing is the energy that you get wearing out of these clothes is very important because it goes through so many human hands and it gives you positive energy.
Yes, yes. I love that. It's all about the energy. Um, yeah, because I wanted to ask you, what is the difference wearing uh, in your opinion, clothes that are made by hand from the fabric to the actual garment versus something that's been done in an
Uh,
industrialized way by people who might be suffering.
See, they are basically two very different markets. If you're looking for a character in the cloth, I mean, it's very simple that once you weave in the machine, it's it's like you're weaving tons of fabrics,
Mhm.
and everything is the same because the machine is producing the same quality of yarn and everything. But when it comes to hand, what it becomes very different is the character. I mean, if two people are wearing the same clothing, they will not have the same missing loop or the same weaving pattern.
Mhm.
In the mistakes and the flaws will not be on the same place. It will be at two different places.
Yeah.
The most important thing that one can differentiate between machine and hand is basically the finish.
Mhm.
I mean, with hand, you definitely tend to get more softer fabrics,
Mhm.
and you will always see that once you are seeing a piece of clothing, if somebody who basically knows handloom, who is a connoisseur of handloom, they will be able to identify that yes, this fabric has a different. It's not that flat. It
Yeah.
has that unevenness. It has that character, which makes it different.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And that is what I mean, if you look at the colors, I mean, the way it plays on the handloom and the way it plays in the machine fabric are totally different. I mean, look at the prints. I mean, if you're doing a digital print and if you're doing a screen print, you will see the difference.
yes.
And there is a section of market which basically loves this character of hand print, hand embroidery. They love these unevenness,
Yeah.
and that is where we come in the picture, and that is where these people who are the supporters of this, they are the people who help us preserve the artisans. They help us preserve the culture because if they would not be buying, I mean, we would not be able to do what we are trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I had another question that I was thinking because well, I'm excited to come and visit. Hopefully soon. I've got my passport, so can
Yes,
hopefully come
you
and
will love
visit.
it. I mean,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
I
Oh,
mean,
so
we have the in-house infrastructure for everything, and I mean, you're going to love and see how people work on it.
yes.
You know, they sit in groups and they do the embroidery, the print and everything. So I think you have to see it to
See, to
feel it.
really feel it.
And yeah,
Yes.
you will feel it. I mean, the connection and everything will be very instant.
You know, I'm always wearing like the shirt. Remember, that's the first prototype that you made. I always wear it.
Wow, that's so nice. Thank you so much.
Yes. Um, I'm curious. So for a shirt like this, um, how long, or it's about like 2 yards or 2 meters, right, of fabric usage, or the jumpsuit, for example, is about 3-4 meters of fabric. How
Right.
long will it take to weave something on a hand loom, like the 4 meters that are necessary?
See, normally 4 meter would take a weaver approximately between 2.5 days.
So, wow. So what you're saying then is that if when somebody buys a garment that is made from handloom materials, they ensure
Hmm.
that somebody, like an artist, has been, or an artisan weaver has been able to work for 2.5 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is only, we are talking about the weaving.
Yeah.
Then comes the dyeing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's spending that time. Then you have somebody who is doing the embroidery.
Yeah.
Then you have a person who is doing the stitching.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are looking at basically giving employment with the same dress to different cluster of people who are engaged into different parts of the job. And I mean, what is the most important aspect of this whole thing is you know where it is coming from. You are not blindfolded as to, I mean, today if somebody asks you that this this cloth is made by where, how, I mean, you can very strongly say that this is how it is done, this is where it is done. And when you know that origin, your confidence and your belief in that product increases that much. This is what we believe personally.
And this is what we all need to understand, like it's the connection is, which I believe our disconnect in general is the core issue of why we have this consumption. It's the disconnect within ourselves and the disconnect where our things are coming from, that we have no connection to the humans. It's just like it's behind the veil. We don't
Right.
get to see that, and so we are unconscious of what's happening on the, on the other side of that veil.
Right.
Yeah. I have one last question and then I have to jump off and get the kids to school.
Right.
The ivory colorway. I'm curious, is this undyed? Is this like the
Uh,
original
See,
linen?
basically what happens that linen comes in a natural color,
Mhm.
and once the fabric is weaved, there are at times we feel that because it has moved from the weavers and everything, we do a in-house process
Mhm.
that basically helps us, take care of all the shrinkage and everything.
Right. Yes.
So I will have to check if for the ivory color. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Basically, if we use a very little amount of dye or something, which is basically washed or done something with, so
Mhm.
that we have the same color. But if it is a snow white color, then we put the color. But if it's a natural color of linen,
Yeah.
then you need not basically put any colors into that. It just has to go through a plain washing and processing, and the fabric is going for stitching.
Okay. Okay. Because I was
Because
curious
the
about that.
because the actual linen color would be slightly off white.
Yes.
So if your ivory color is
Mhm.
slightly off white, then definitely this is the natural linen. Yes, then this is the natural linen.
That's
And the moment it becomes white, which is like a snow white, then
yeah.
it goes through the dye process.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, Wonderful. Amazing. And linen is, anyway, what I love about linen, we were talking about the high frequency, the high vibration of linen in comparison to other other materials. It's just
Yeah,
amazing.
and it's definitely a luxurious fabric.
Mhm.
And if you look for the summer, it basically is very, very good
Yeah,
because you have the kind of thing which passes and everything. So it definitely is a beautiful fabric
it
and it
is.
has its own character. Yes,
It totally does. And it's so sustainable too.
yes,
Takes up,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, wonderful. I'm so excited to be able to share you and share this video with.
No, no, we are also very excited that we are part of the family and you really, you have been supportive and always have been so calm with everything. And to be very honest, I mean, with your experience that you have shared with us and the way you work has definitely been a very good learning experience for us. And we are trying to basically put that into our system and I mean the way you are so disciplined with your work and everything is so crystal clear, the updates, the
Oh,
measurements and everything, it's really nice. I mean it's a good learning curve for our team.
you know what? It's a learning curve for us too. You
Right.
know, it's I that's why I actually love apparel, because there's
Yes,
always learning. It's never the same. There's
never
always
ending
something
story.
different, and there's always something to learn and new ways of doing something and going with the flow. And I just loved it. And um it's gone pretty fast if we think about it. It's not even a year ago that we started talking. I don't think that
Correct.
yeah, I think it was like
Yeah,
June, May or
June,
June.
July. Yes,
Yeah. And
yes,
already here we are. Here we are launching this
yes.
into the world. I'm like so excited.
No, no,
This is a
definitely.
dream come
No,
true.
no, I can understand that because I mean you have worked very hard for it, and I've seen like you and your colleagues they are like so passionate about it, and that is what matters the most. That I mean if you are so much into it and you feel for it, I mean it has to go well, and
Oh,
the journey definitely is going to be much more beautiful ahead.
thank you. Thank you so much. No, for me, it's really important, like that the energy of love goes into the garments. Everybody,
This is this we
excuse me.
we we have always believed this,
Yes,
and
right?
and it works. It works. Trust me.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
people really feel that connection.
It's so funny. Like I'm so blown away. Like even the shipping people, they're so passionate about their work. They're so, like even on the weekend, if I have a question, he's asking right away. Like super nice. The person who's done the harmonized codes, she's like a
Yes.
total nerd.
I
She
think it has
loves
to
the
come from
harmonized
the
codes.
top.
Huh?
It has to come from the top. And when you basically pass on this vibration to your team, I mean, the excitement and everything,
Uh,
because they always look at the people who they are being taken care of. So I think if that energy is good, it has to flow in the right direction.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's just I'm like I feel very, very supported. I
No, no,
am.
I'm very sure. We wish you all the best. I'm very sure that you'll have many more success, and this is going to be definitely a good launch. And let's keep our fingers crossed. And
Yeah,
we just hope that the customers are also as excited as we all are,
yeah,
and they really reciprocate the product very well, and they say yes, we
yes,
want it, and let's let's
yes.
let's do our best.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm sending all my love over,
Thank you
and
so much, and
I cannot wait to meet you in, like in the flesh.
it will be a pleasure. You're
Yes,
most welcome, and I'm very sure that when you're going to be in the city and in the office, you will definitely love the people, the energy, and everything around here. The
yeah,
city is also very nice, so
yes.
you're going to keep coming again and again.
From finishing.
I think they can. No problem. Get it.
God.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I think my daughter's headphones just jumped on, and now I cannot. I clicked the wrong buttons.
Problem.
Anyway,
No problem.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Have a great night. Thank you for
You
spending
too.
your evening with me here.
No. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great day. Ciao.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I cannot close this.
Let me put it.
Yeah. Thank you. Jesus. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Okay, connect that.